What encouraged you to first go on Britain's Got Talent?
Um, but it was a long process really of doing it. It was more of like my family wanted me to go forward for it because they thought it'd be a great stage to go on to show everyone what I was capable of doing. Because I started comedy at a really young age.
Yeah, so what did that experience teach you about yourself and your career?
Um, it kind of taught me that I could push myself to do bigger things than like normal things in life, like a normal job. Obviously, going on stage in front of millions of people and doing stand-up comedy is like a really different thing to do, especially as a 16-year-old lad. So I guess it kind of taught me that, and gave me a lot more confidence in what I could do with myself.
So, as you were quite young, do you think there were quite a lot of pressures involved with being on talent show?
I suppose, in a way, um, maybe more to do with the comedy side with the Britain's Got Talent because you only had like such a short period of time to get across jokes and stuff. Like as a singer, you'd kind of have a song to sing with, like a backing track. But as a comedian, I had jokes to get through, and then I had to wait for like laughs and applause and stuff, and it was kind of hard to um, work that in with the time slot I had. But being young and doing it was hard as well because I don't think anyone would have took a 16-year-old lad trying to make people laugh serious.
Right. So before that, did you have quite a lot of experience, or was it something that was quite new to you?
Um, Both really. I started when I was about 14, and for 2 years I kind of done like a lot of charity stuff and a lot of like low key gigs. So it was kind of both. Like I've done stand up before. I've done Britain's Got Talent, but obviously not to that kind of scale.
Um, where would be your dream place to perform?
The dream would obviously be like in Liverpool, the Echo Arena. That's like the biggest stage for me personally that I'd love to get to.
Yeah. So, what were the sort of things that interested you in being a comedian before any of the big events sort of happened for you?
The one thing that kind of made me do it, I've always wanted to make people happy. So I think the one thing that makes people happy is laughter. So that's kind of what made me really want to do it.
Yeah. Is that your favourite thing about performing, or were there other things that interested you towards it?
The another main thing about it is that you never kind of know what happens when you do stand up comedy. Like I done one once which was like kind of really makeshift. It was like for a charity thing and it was in a shop. Um, and it was really awkward. Like there was all these old women like shopping around me for like bras and knickers, and I'm like standing there trying to tell jokes and stuff. And that was like from a young age. That's what I love about it because there's all this random stuff that goes on. But that'll be the main thing because you never know what happens.
Yeah. So is that quite nerve wracking to sort of not know what's happening?
Yeah, I suppose because you could have like your set list down of what you're going to talk about, and that never goes to plan. Like literally anything can happen. Like you could be halfway through a joke, and someone who's like really drunk could like heckle you and try and join in, and it's not really going the way that you want it to go, or something could happen and make the show amazing. You never know what's going to happen really.
Has there been any particular thing, like you said, like some heckling that's happened to you that's sort of put you back or shocked you?
Um, no, not really. The one thing I love about the heckling is that I can, because I love getting involved with the audience and getting them involved with what I do. So it kind of like not helps, but it kind of makes everyone at ease because everyone is a bit more interested in what's happening. So not everything's written. So like you can kind of deal with things, and sometimes you make things up on the spot, and the audience seem to connect with that more than with what you wrote down.
Yeah. Where's been your favourite place to perform?
Um, Probably my favourite gig that I've done. I done the Manchester Comedy Store, which is like kind of a big thing to get to as a comedian. I done that with John Bishop, which is like a big idol of mine. And I got to like sit backstage with him, and I was like fangirling and stuff because he knew my name, and I kind of freaked out. But probably doing that gig because I done it with him, and he gave me a lot of advice, and he gave me a big confidence boost as well.
How does it feel to follow in the footsteps of someone who's quite influential in that way?
Um, it's a great thing to do. obviously, doing the same gig as him is a great honour. I went on before him as well. Obviously, if I went on after him, would have been a lot harder because he's amazing. But just being in the same building as him and also having a chat with him is, it's a great confidence boost, as I said.
Mm-hmm. So, apart from him, if you could perform with anyone, who would it be?
Lee Evans would probably be like the main person. He's like the biggest for me in modern comedy. I'd love to gig with Jack Whitehall as well because he's more of the age group I'm for now.
Do you think that you'll always want to continue comedy as a career, or would there be other options?
I'd always like to do comedy. Comedy's like the main thing I want to do. Stand-up comedy. I'd also love to do like comedy acting as well. Anything comedy based. As I said, I love making people happy, and that's the one thing I enjoy doing.
Is there anything you would be doing if this wouldn't work out for you?
Probably working with my dad on a construction site. I'm really dopey with that. He sacked me 3 times once in one day, so I don't think I'm supposed to be on the construction site.
So, who inspires you, whether it be through comedy or just generally?
Um, I'd say a lot is family based. What inspires me is I'd say all my family, like my dad and my brother, my granddad and stuff. They're all like characters in their own little way. We all have banter and stuff, and I'd say family to me is like a big part of my comedy.
Right. Where does all of your material come from?
Same again. Most of it's everyday life. Some of it's family based. Some of it's everyday life. Some of the things that I do personally. It's all observational stuff and physical stuff, so everyone can kind of relate to a bit of it.
Okay, so when and where are you next performing?
I am next performing. We're on my next performing show. Sorry about this. I'm like cross-cutting conversations going on.
You do your stand-up comedy in various places, but your next big one is your own show.
Yeah, I've got my own show, which is like the big main thing that I'm doing. It's next year, the 2nd of May, and like hometown gig at the Flora Pavilion, which is like a big like stage where I think it's in front of 800 odd people. So that's like the big step for me, really.
Yeah. Are you planning on going elsewhere on that? It's like a tour, so would you be coming to Newcastle?
Yeah, I'd love to come to Newcastle. That's hopefully the next step is to do that. Hopefully, if that goes well, I'll take that show around the UK and do tours.
Yeah. What were your favourite subjects when you were at school?
I'd say drama, music, because I play like guitar and drums and stuff. So music, drama. That was it really. I was bad at everything else. I got told a lot of other subjects, but they were the main ones that I was good at.
Would you say you were known as the class joker and that sort of had an influence, or?
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. I got labelled that. I would never try and be it. It was just the way I was, but that's what I got told I was quite a lot.
How old were you when you began performing?
What performing stand-up comedy?
Yeah.
I was 14. 14. I done my first gig, and that was in school.
So, do you think it's better to start performing when you're quite young, or do you think better when you're older, more experienced?
I don't know. It works either way, really. I've started really young, and there's a lot of comedians that have started really young, and there's a lot of comedians who started really late. Like John Bishop started when I think he was in his late 30s. I think it was. And he's broke through now, and he's earning like millions and everything doing it. So I suppose everyone's got kind of like a fate, what's going to happen to them, but whether it happens quickly or in a long process, it's up to the person.
Is there any advice you would give to a young person who is aspiring to become a comedian?
Yeah, just go for it, really. You never knock back gigs because you never know what happens. As I said, I've done it in front of old people shopping for bras and knickers, and you know, you learn a lot as well from any gig. So pretty much do everything and get as much experience as possible.
Right. Yeah, that was great. Have you got anything else you want to say, or any other questions?
No, that's fine. Thanks for chatting to me.
Yeah, thank you.
No
Thanks.
worries. See ya.
Bye.